Hello, and welcome to Best Summer Ever Post Film Conversation. This conversation is a special program of Sip Streams and Ennisfield Wolf Book Awards as part of the 2021 Cleveland Book Week, presented by the Cleveland Foundation. My name is Eric Seiler, and I'm a professor of film, media arts, and communications, as well as moderator for this conversation. We're very pleased to be joined by two very special guests who are very instrumental in the making of this film. First, we have the producer and writer of the film, Andrew Pilkington. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Hello, Andrew, and welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. And next, we have someone you'll probably recognize, the one of the main actors from the film, Ricky Wilson Jr. Hello, Ricky, and welcome.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me. This is an honor. It's an honor to be here.
Well, it's an honor to have both of you with us today. Let me start with you, Andrew. As a writer on this film, how did you come up with the idea to actually write a story about, you know, the best summer ever for some people?
Well, being on my phone looking the that made the movie, um, have a long history of making film, short films, but they eventually want to make a feature film. And a lot of our people in our community of Vietnam love musicals like Glee and High School Musical and history. So it was kind of a natural evolution to do a movie musical about high school. So yeah, that's kind of where the idea came from. And, it was actually going to be a short film as well. But
Oh,
we
yeah.
had, we had all these great songs, and we realized that we couldn't fit them all into a 20-minute movie. So we made it into a feature film. So that's how it got made. How, yeah.
Well, that meant a lot more writing for you, starting out as a short and
Oh yeah.
expanding it to a future feature.
And
Yeah.
it was actually based on one of the Mountain plays that they put on at the annual summer camp in Vermont. So we adapted it from that, and that play was called Best Summer Ever. So, yeah.
Well, it must have been very impactful for you to, actually extend it into a short and then a feature.
Yeah.
Moving on to Ricky, how did you get connected with this film? Was this script written for you, or did you audition? Tell us a little bit about your connection with this film.
So it's an interesting story. I went to college actually with Mumu, who plays Beth in the film. She's a phenomenal actress, and she also played a very, very large part in scoring the film as well. Um, we went to college together, and I guess we had lost touch for about maybe like 2 or 3 years. And one day, and at this point, I'm living in Los Angeles, so we went to college in New York. But anyways, I'm just sort of in my apartment, kind of doing nothing, staring at the wall, maybe, I don't know, daydreaming. And she calls me out of the blue. And I'm thinking that she is in town, she wants to hang out, but she's just like, "Hey, Ricky, how have you been?" We catch up. And she's asking me if I still act. She's like, are you still acting? And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And she, long story short, she sends me Becoming Bulletproof, which was um, a, a previous documentary that was produced by Xenomon Farm. It's an incredible, incredible documentary, by the way. But I watched that, and she introduced me to Will Halby, which is one of the, like, he's one of the another one of the producers on the film. And we met at a coffee shop in Hollywood, and basically we like hit it off immediately. We shared we shared life stories, and I went down to Venice and met like Andrew. That's when I like met Andrew with Madeline and a lot of the other like people like AJ, some of the other people that you see in the movie. I got to meet everyone, and it felt like one big family, and everything happened pretty quickly. And I didn't necessarily like, there were screen tests, but my first audition was Will Howey basically asking me if I can sing and dance just at the table. He was like, hey, so can you sing and dance? And I was like, yep. And that was pretty much like the you got the part kind of moment, which has never happened before, and I don't know if it will ever happen again. Like, but what I've learned as an actor is if you are asked if you can do something, you say that you can, and then you figure it out after the fact. You just take care of that later. You just show as much confidence as you can. So basically, I mean, it was just a good friend recommending people that I ended up cultivating these lasting friendships and just beautiful relationships with. It was a unique process. Doesn't really happen that often.
It does not, and it tremendously worked out really well. You were just fantastic in this film. I'll get
Thanks.
more of your role in this in a little bit, but going back to Andrew, um, now after you wrote the film, and I guess in any film there's writing and rewrites and so forth, and producing and so forth. What is your reaction to the final outcome of the film? Are you pleased? Is there something you would do differently? Tell us a little bit about your reaction to this film.
You got a filmmaker the million things to do differently. I mean, but in the end, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I mean, like, the film changed a lot along the way. You know, we rewrote some of it and we put out some parts that didn't really work. You know, but I think the film is really, you know, fine and well put together, and it communicates the idea that we want to always communicate about inclusion and, you know, telling people who, you know, would never otherwise get opportunity to play major roles in film. So I'm very happy with the result. I'm very happy that people are able to understand what we were trying to accomplish with our mission. Yeah.
Yeah, and how long did it take to make the entire film? I know you were there.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said in the short, and we wrote it in May of 2017, and we filmed it in the fall of 2017. Basically from then until I'd say about 20 January is when we had our final cut. So that was like, no, February. It was like a 3 year process. You know, I think both movies take about 2 years. So it was like, but because of the nature of it felt longer. And I think every filmmaker is going to say that, but yeah. So 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, most films take time, and this time was well invested. Over to you, Ricky. What are you most proud of from this film? When you look back upon it, what are you most proud of?
Most proud. I'm most proud that we got it done. Like we did it. That's I feel like that's something that's sometimes overlooked when you talk about a film, like all the little things that can go wrong here and there. But I'm really proud of the entire team, people that you don't see in these Q&As, people that you don't see at the festivals, people that like worked tirelessly, like days and months and years, a couple of years. And we all like stuck it through thick and through thin and through thick again. That's I'd say that's something I'm most proud of.
Oh, great. And just moving a little bit further, how, what was it like working with people with different abilities, different races in the film? Did that challenge you in any way, or you just took this as being a professional actor, adapting to the role and making the best of it?
Well, it was definitely it was a challenge in like probably the most beautiful way possible. Just just the nature of the film forces you to kind of forget about like yourself and your own things that you might perceive as issues in your life. And yeah, there were times when we were filming, we were actually living on the same, like we were living on the, I want to say like the campus, the property at Xenon Farm, and just being so close with people that you're working with and sometimes like hanging out with and partying with, it created this really close bond that that made those challenges sort of easier to navigate when they would arise. And it was um I mean, one thing I loved about specifically like the some of the dance numbers, uh Frankie, one of the amazing choreographer, was able to um, create choreography that was specific to everyone's abilities, what they could do, what they couldn't do. It wasn't like we're going to learn this number or we're going to do this specific set of things, and if you can't do it, you'll be kind of left behind. Everyone everyone was able to contribute in that way and many other ways, in a way that felt like they were actually giving of their skill set, and it was beautiful to see.
It was beautiful to see, and I appreciate
So
you lending us an insight about how the film was developed around the skill sets of various performers. Um, uh, Andrew, um, as a producer of the film, can you tell us specifically some of the things that you did? I mean, the writing's done. Now it's time to get down to business and really make this film happen. Tell us some specific things that you did to make sure this film actually took place.
Well, hiring groups and finding people with disabilities who want to fill various roles of production. We found, but we found some amazing crew members like our supervisor was good, and our boom operators and players and camera assistants. But as you know, a lot of making a movie is fundraising. So finding more money to get the movie to the next point was the challenge, right? As from we didn't do our financing ahead of time, but most I don't recommend everything. But we must under a real time. So, that was a challenge. But then getting everyone back to the reshoot and every good thing we would end up doing, we
Yeah.
So like some of the themes like take place in different like motifs, like the end theme and Mickey different. It's like one shot in LA and one shot in Vermont. For you, girl.
Yeah,
So,
I remember that.
and like it's kind of amazing how close it was, you know,
Yeah.
to the same shot. So that was a round. And then once we got the movie done and we got into South by Southwest, the COVID happened. So COVID came the entire landscape of how to put a movie out into the world. So, you know, discovering how to do that for people that never have done that before was such a, you know, challenging
Yeah.
event really. But luckily enough, we were able to get back into a lot of film festivals and we got a deal with a great distributor and
Oh yeah.
other books. So it was like a lot of new ground for everyone, even
It,
people who have been making movies a while. It was COVID made it become a whole new ballgame.
uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely, the work doesn't stop. You know, once you put the stop typing those last couple words, then a new set of work begins. Ricky, what was it like working with Shannon DeVito? She's an accomplished actor. She's been in lots of things, soap operas and commercials and so forth. What was it like working with
It was amazing. I mean, she's like if you can imagine, if you've seen any of her work, it was oftentimes it's hard to keep a straight face. It's hard not to break character with her. She's like a very very quick witted person, and it was fun for me because I don't know, I like to I don't know I feel like I've dabbled in improv before, like maybe once or twice. So I like to think I can like kind of keep up with the comedy types. So it was like a fun challenge for me, just being able to quickly create this chemistry and this like uh, feel this like camaraderie with my fellow actor that I was going to be working with day in and day out. And I don't feel like any of the scenes, like I know she didn't feel like things were forced. I feel like I didn't have to force any of the like the more romantic scenes or like the chemistry scenes because it was kind of natural.
it was. It came off very natural. Did you know her ahead of time, or did you just meet her on this?
No, we met. We actually met one day on set. Actually, we didn't know. Yeah, we hadn't known each other previously. I'd seen some of her work, but no, not before that. But yeah, you never know when you're gonna make a new friend.
It's
You never know.
exactly. And how is she? I know she couldn't make it today. How is she? Do you keep in touch with her?
I haven't spoken to her in a little while. The last time I saw her was I think about a month ago. We were in Cincinnati actually for the Over the Rhine Film Festival, which was an amazing time. It was amazing getting to see her because before that we hadn't seen each other in a while because I'm in LA and she's usually like on the East Coast. Um, but yeah, it was funny because when we saw each other, there was not any of the like, hey, how have you been? What's up? We just immediately started kind of like I don't know. I think we were like making fun of someone or something someone we care about. I don't know. We were immediately just right back into like the rhythm of our like our wacky friendship.
Well, that's great that the on-screen connection, spills off screen as well too, which you two are friends. Question for the both of you: I'll start with you, Ricky, and Andrew. You can answer too. Do you have what is your favorite scene from this film?
Favorite scene.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, if I can be, I mean, I was about to say honestly, if I can be honest, that makes no sense. But my favorite scene, I'd have to say, is when the introduction to Beth, when she like just like whips open the door and she like steals the apple she's eating it. She like throws it like at Jeremy and he like goes flying backwards. That introduction to her was so strong. It was such like an establishing moment, and it was hilarious because this Madeline is it's crazy because in real life Mumu, sorry, she's a really nice person, and she was so good at embodying that like that evil like stereotypical high school popular cheerleader that is pretty psychotic. But yeah, she was great. That was my favorite scene for sure.
Okay, I see. And what about you, Andrew? Your favorite scene?
My favorite film is this guy and when you are dancing down the street with all the town people, including myself, and favorite
Yes.
dance for some reason. I don't know why. But watching Mickey command that whole dance number and truly. And so, and it feels like it's a giant budget Hollywood musical. So that's my favorite. And they let me sing. The Cowboys. Yeah.
You sounded good.
Yeah. I'm so sad I missed that Ohio thing. Like, I would love to hang out with you guys. Yeah. Yeah. That's all.
I see. Andrew, if you could do anything differently, writing, producing, anything with this film.
Yeah, like the filming and like like you've got a miracle that this movie is as good as it is because so many things went
Yeah.
wrong. But like that happens on every movie. So I wish we got more time to practice all the themes and numbers and I because we were crammed so much into like several times. And like our team did amazing job with the time that they had to work for. But like I definitely think if we had more time we could really done some great stuff. But every filmmaker said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the time is key. You always wish for more time. What about you, Ricky? Is there a scene that you wish you could have done over or anything differently when you look back upon things?
I'd say like overall, in terms of like the process, there's nothing that I would want there's nothing I would want to do over. I feel like the specific ways that different things happened led to the product that we have. And I mean, I guess as an actor, there's always when you go back and watch yourself in a film or on anything, like I always have those moments where I see something that I could have done, or like you're always ideally always improving as an actor. So I know some of these scenes were shot maybe 2-3 years ago, and I feel like I'm at a place where I would never make some of those choices now. So aside from those little like technical actor things, I mean, I wouldn't change anything about the process.
I
would do another movie. No, I don't know. Wouldn't be a change.
Speaking of another movie, Vicky, are you working on anything now, or what's next for you?
Right now, in pre-production with a good friend of mine that I also went to college with. And it's this movie called Scam. We're working on this feature. It's like an independent feature film about a guy who, well, I don't want to give too much away, but he's basically a guy who's a bad person. He's not a good person. And we're in the process of like creating like a campaign video, trying to raise funds for that. Maybe I could send it to you guys when we finalize it. I might be meeting with them later today. But it's something I'm really excited about. I think we're going to start shooting it within the next couple of months, and we aim to be maybe wrapped on principal photography within the next 6 months to a year. Who knows what'll happen though? You know, it's another adventure that I'm taking on, and I'm really, really excited about. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, we'll stay tuned. All the best with that. What about you, Andrew? What are you working on now?
I'm developing a show about I'm developing a show that I'm trying to get made right now. So,
Nice.
you know, showrunners who want to come on board, let me know. But yeah, I mean, and I work on, I want to advance the narrative about, people with disabilities in front and behind the camera. So that's always my goal in every project I do in some way.
Well, very good. Well, I wish you the best with that. Well, Ricky Wilson, actor and Best Summer Ever. Andrew Pilkington, writer, producer for Best Summer Ever. I appreciate both of you joining us today and giving us some insight on this wonderful film. So thank you both very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. It's an honor.
And thank you to our audience for joining us for this important conversation. For more information about SIS Streams and Annisfield Wolf Book Awards program, please visit clevelandfilm.org or annisfield-wolf.org. I'm Eric Seiler. Thank you.